Florida is known as the fishing capital of the world, but right now there's a lot less fishing and a lot more concern about what's happening to their valuable and vulnerable ecosystem. If you walk up and down Indian River Lagoon, you will see this. Thousands of dead fish belly up in the water.
Chile's government has temporarily banned the consumption of sardines in the south of the country after millions of dead fish turned up floating along the shores of the Cailo River. At the weekend, the authorities began clearing the shorelines. Experts are still investigating the cause of death and any possible risk to human health.
Temperatures were warmer than normal, allowing for a toxic algae bloom and brown tide to take over. The algae bloom depletes the oxygen from the water, in turn killing the fish, and has also killed more than half the lagoon's seagrass. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Research Institute says the fish kills happen all the time, all over the state, but this one is massive.
Chinese authorities are investigating thousands of dead fish in a river near the site of the recent chemical explosion in Tianjin. And while this disaster occurs away from home, US scientists have started an investigation of their own as to why dozens of large whales are washing up dead on the shores of Alaska. 30 large whales in total since May. And the National Oceanic and Atmosphere Administration has declared the string of large whale deaths around Alaska as an unusual mortality event and are racing to find out why.
Sperm whale that has washed up on England's east coast. 4 others died in a number of beachings nearby in recent days. A pod of up to 6 whales had been spotted close to the shoreline on Friday. This whale has washed up near Wainfleet in Lincolnshire. The latest case follows the death of a beached whale off Hunstanton in Norfolk and the discovery of 3 carcasses near the resort of Skegness over the weekend. One of the Skegness whales could be seen with "Man's Fault" spray painted on its tail, and another had CND written on it, signifying the campaign for nuclear disarmament. The cause of the deaths is not known, although there have been several previous examples of sperm whales becoming confused and beaching in the shallow waters of the North Sea. Experts will examine the bodies of the whales to try and establish why they beached and whether their deaths are linked to a pod of 12 which died between the Netherlands and Germany since the 11th of January.
As yet that it has anything to do with the chemical explosion. Here's a quote from Deng Xiaowen, who's head of Tianjin's Environment Monitoring Center, who is denying the correlation between the chemical release and the dead fish. He said it was not uncommon for fish to die en masse in local rivers during the summer due to poor quality. When the temperature rises, oxygen will evaporate and fish may die of hypoxia. But you have to be concerned about the ongoing repercussions of this.
I mean, they will tell you anything. instead of the truth. In China, what is happening with the press and the journalists that are trying to uncover what really happened is they're completely, fenced off of the area. Now we know that there were 300% higher levels of cyanide in the water in the site of this explosion. We have to wake up. What's happening to the rivers and to the oceans in this planet is just a warning that we're killing our environment. We can't see this and don't feel that it's going to get passed on to humans. This is something that we eat. This is part of our food chain. We are eating the same things that are killing this animal.
Whales, 14 humpback whales, 1 grey whale, 4 identified species of whale washed up dead. This is more than 3 times the average for this area. Now, an official investigation has been launched. They will say at the moment that this has nothing to do with Fukushima. They have been trying to test the whales, but the problem is the bodies, the carcasses of these whales are so badly decomposed that only 1 whale, now this is a picture, only 1 whale, first of all, has actually still remains intact enough to be.
In Haiti, the destruction severe. Officials warning of a life and death situation. ABC's Lindsay Davis is in Port-au-Prince right now. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, George. Still a bit of rain here this morning. A hurricane warning does remain in effect for this area. And while the capital city largely dodged a bullet, there are some rural areas here that are just absolutely devastated, and fears remain for flooding, mudslides, and possibly cholera.
This is Matthew!
Winds reaching 145 miles per hour, tearing through south and northwestern Haiti. The Category 4 hurricane bringing torrential rainfall. The coastal town of Lecce swept away by flooding. Flash floods ripping through villages. This man dangerously tries to cross the rushing waters.
You can see the river absolutely raging. It's already 15 feet higher from where it would normally be, and still it continues to rise. Concern is so great that police have closed down this bridge, so people who are in this village are unable to make it to Port-au-Prince by car.
The damage in some of Haiti's rural areas could be catastrophic. The majority of people live in makeshift homes. Before the storm struck, authorities tried evacuating the most vulnerable, but many refused to leave, fearing theft.
The real concern now with all this rain, mudslides.
This morning, assessing all the damage in the impoverished country is proving incredibly difficult, with communications cut off in many areas after bridges gave way and roads became impassable. Standing water and mounds of trash fill several streets in the capital city.
It's the eerie image exploding across social media. A satellite photo of Hurricane Matthew. It sure does look like a smirking skull, especially with that devilish red background. Florida meteorologist Matt Devitt of Wink TV in Fort Myers noticed the spooky likeness. The image is everywhere. Scary skull of Matthew. Skull image of Hurricane Matthew spooks the internet. Eerie face spotted on satellite image. So is it real or photoshopped?
It is 100% legit, authentic. I didn't change anything on it, didn't change the contrast, didn't change one single pixel. That is the way it actually appeared.
Weather Channel senior meteorologist Stu Ostro was the first to post the image to Twitter.
This is some really freaky, sinister looking face, which unfortunately is consistent with the hurricane being sinister because it's already been deadly and destructive.
Yeah, nothing may be as scary as Hurricane Matthew when it slams into the East Coast later this week.
Gliela fa respirare un po'. Gliela fa? Poca roba. Però l'importante è allora di stare tranquilli. Adesso stanno arrivando anche i vigili. Cerchiamo di toglierli questa perché noi stiamo aspettando per non fargli fa male, va bene?
Siamo usciti sulla piazza, era lì dico, un girone dantesco, un inferno dantesco, gente che chiedeva aiuto, 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 aiuto. E i soccorsi sono arrivati dopo un'ora e mezza, sono arrivati.